Let's do a lab problem from section 11.6, problem number 1. They want us to use a ratio test to determine whether a series is convergent or divergent. And here is our series. We have n going from 1 to infinity of n factorial divided by 93 to the nth power. So the ratio test tells us that if we take the ratio a sub n plus 1 divided by a sub n, so that's two consecutive terms, take the absolute value of that and take the limit. And whatever we get there is L. If that number is going to be less than 1, then it's going to converge. If it's bigger than 1, it's going to diverge. And if it's equal to 1, we have no conclusion. So here is our series, n factorial divided by 93 to the nth power. And so the n plus first term will be taking that expression and putting n plus 1 wherever we see an n. So we're going to have an n plus 1 factorial in the numerator, and then the power for 93 is going to be n plus 1. We're going to divide by that same expression, n factorial divided by 93 to the nth. And then we're going to take this and multiply the reciprocal. And so we're going to multiply by 93 to the n divided by n factorial. So I have n plus 1 factorial in the numerator and 93 to the n plus 1 in the denominator. And now I want a 93 to the n in the numerator. And I have an n factorial in the denominator that's already here. So that is our expression. We will simplify it. We will get to cancel a bunch of 93s. We get 93. There's n 93s on the numerator. There's n plus 1. There's one more 93 in the denominator than in the numerator. So we have a 93 left in the denominator. Now I have an n plus 1 factorial. So that's essentially n factorial times the n plus first term. So this is going to leave us with n plus 1. I suppose a good way to look at that, let's see if we can take a look at what it means to have n factorial, or n plus 1 factorial divided by n factorial. So what do you get there? In the numerator, well, in the denominator you get n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times, and then some dots here until you get to 3 and then 2 and then 1. Well, n plus 1 factorial is basically n plus 1 times n times n minus 1. So it's basically what's in the denominator already. And what happens there is that you got all these terms canceling out in the numerator and in the denominator, except you would have an n plus 1 left on top. So that's what the n plus 1 is here. If we take the limit as n goes off to infinity, we have n plus 1 divided by 93. 93 is a constant. N plus 1 will go off to infinity, so this thing is going to go to infinity. Let's see, infinity. So infinity is clearly bigger than 1, so this is going to diverge for us. All right, I hope that helps.